right, very cool. Nice to meet you all. Good to see lots of people flooding in. And there's a few reasons for that. You know, people are retiring. There is an attrition rate. And there's also this huge pipeline of infrastructure work happening here in the States. And so we need to find a way to get more effective, because really this is a global problem that we're facing. It's not just here in the States. There is a talent shortage, and the Project Management Institute estimates we're going to need nearly 90 million people working in project management by 2027, which is not that far away. And unfortunately, the trend is only getting worse. And so we've come up with how we feel as a technology business, 5 ways to get more effective. So we're going to jump into all of these 5 things in a minute with demonstrations and instructions. But before I do that, I wanted to introduce Aaron, and I'll hand over to Aaron to introduce himself. He's an expert in our industry. He's a long-term customer and friend of mine, and I'm really excited to have him on the webinar today to provide that aspect or that opinion from the client side or the project management consulting firm's perspective. So if you want to introduce yourself, Aaron, that would be great.
Will do. Good afternoon, everyone. Firstly, thank you to CMAA and to Doug over at Mastt for having the opportunity to join you in today's discussion. So as Doug mentioned, we had the privilege of working together many years ago in the trenches, both as young project managers, both slaving away, custom tailoring spreadsheets, reports, briefs, all sorts of documents in order to perform our tasks as junior project managers. I've then since had the luxury of working for a project management consultancy business for 10 years, worked for a builder for 5 years, and now I'm back in the project management consultancy space and working as part of the leadership team with Arrow Projects. So my day-to-day job is as a senior project manager delivering projects, but I'm also responsible for growing and building our Sydney team and how that works with the rest of our national sort of view and vision within our business.
Step 1, getting in sync with the tech-savvy generation. The message here is if you can posture your business to be responding to the needs, of this young generation, this young tech-savvy generation, you're going to have a much better chance of recruiting those people, and you may even get them at a bit of a discount to what would otherwise be the pay, because they're willing to take a role. We know they're willing to take a role if they are given good learning opportunities and good software and good technology to use in that role. And I really like this one because we all know we'd all love a top performer. The 9 out of 10, like you, Aaron. You're a 9.5 out of 10. I was a 10 out of 10. No, I'm just kidding. But you need the 6 out of 10s. Good mentoring. That's right. You did mentor me. But you need the 6 out of 10s. You need the steady earners, in the business, because not everyone is, right up at that top end of the scale for a whole range of reasons. But, what if we could make a 6 out of 10, a 9 out of 10? That would be pretty sweet, right? We can't, plug them in and download information onto their brain because Neuralink, Elon Musk's business, is not yet commercialized and available for us to do that. So it means that you do need to train them and mentor them. But it's hard because we're all time poor in these businesses. And how do you, sit down and give them the education they need to do better at their job? And what they're going to do is they're going to start to circumvent the rules. And we don't really want these 6 out of 10s working on our high value clients, because they may underperform and they may affect the reputation of your business. So we need some way to get visibility into what they're doing to prevent, a 6 out of 10 creating an issue before they occur, or giving you the visibility to see what that 6 out of 10 is doing, so you can educate them in a just-in-time fashion.
Just having more time for mentoring. The time that individuals save with some of those day-to-day admins means they get more time with senior management, they get more time with their mentors.
And, if you do manage to find, a unicorn, 9 out of 10 staff member, grab a hold of them and pull them into your business. But even if you just have a staff member that's going on to another project, we still want them to ramp up fast and effective on that project. And then second, once you've done that, you kind of flip the 80-20 rule. Instead of them spending 80% of their time doing admin, and 20% on the creative element, let's give them 80% of their time to do the creative part, which promotes their work looking good externally to their colleagues and to the client, so that they can look good and then eventually, win more work for your business.
We're able to make it a little less formal, a little less daunting for everyone that's turning up, and basically just pull up the dashboard on the screen, on the presentation, and we can just talk to everything there. So obviously it's got time, cost, and risk. Risk effectively is covering a lot of our quality as well. So all the key things there that any decision makers are focused on, it's all there.
And you can see an example here of our out-of-the-box dashboards. A lot of this will be familiar to everyone on this call. And then when you get to that stage of creativity, you want to build your own because you think a better way to communicate the messaging of the project or the status of the project. And you can create as many dashboards as you like along the top here. And the beauty of this is you can move anything around, change the size of anything that you like. And if you want to add something, a component to the dashboard, you can select it from our tile library. And I've got a basic list of tiles on here. And these tiles go for each module. We have integration tiles and an intelligence tile that I'm going to show you later on. And if you need to print it, you can just go to print preview, hit save, and you can PDF that out. And here's one that I generated before. It comes out nice PDF, exactly how you built it on the page. Send that off to your client. Looks awesome. That really resonates because everyone is thirsting for innovation in this space. And your people are going to be more savvy. Your experience is going to be demonstrating ROI through that complement of methodology and technology. And your methodology, show me how to do dashboards. Tell me how you're going to do costs or manage risk. That is better than business as usual, and you get higher criteria score, and I'll show you how. And then, of course, the ROI from using technology like Mastt or others means you can go in a more competitive price scenario if you need to. And I've always been a big advocate for how do we use all of your data. For example, Aaron, it's all trapped in people's heads or lost in spreadsheets and reports. And over time, you build up a repository of that. But it's really hard to access it. Like, how do you know what the best risk mitigation was on this project or past project? It's just trapped in someone's head. And so how do we unlock all that value? Well, we standardize the data because you use Mastt, and we have an AI ML engine that gives you the answers. And this is what it looks like. It's a chat interface like ChatGPT, and you type in your question and it'll give you the answer. So this is just very basic, a bit of a teaser. What are my highest risks right now that need attention? It'll tell you. You don't even have to go and look at the risk register or look at the system. It'll just tell you exactly what the answer is. How can I make it better? And it will tell you how to make it better. So from the perspective of unlocking all of this highly valuable trapped information, we are finally now at the precipice of unlocking that through these AI ML tools.
You read a lot that there's a lot of hesitation around AI, but AI is a tool, no different to a car or a calculator that enhances the work that we're doing. And I think the point that you made before is that all the data that is captured in Mastt is all standardized. So, these essentially you can use AI with 20, 30 preset questions. And the funny thing is most of those questions are the questions that a junior is going to ask. Someone at a 6 out of 10, how do I interpret this risk? They're the questions that they would probably be going to their mentor with, but until we can actually get that status of balance between the number of people out there required for all these jobs forecast by 2027, we do need access to people that can answer those questions for us. And if a tool can answer 80% of those questions based on the data that's already in there, that's great. That's saving everyone time and money. That means that the PM doesn't have to wait until their project director or their boss is available at 3 p.m. today or the next day or the end of the week. And again, it's all about being, as you said at the start, fast and agile, which is where we save money on our projects for our costs. It's where we can be more competitive when we're tendering for new work with new clients. So, I mean, I think it's a great tool because they're all the standard questions that either a manager is asking of their PM or a PM's asking their manager.
Right.
And the benefit is far outweighed when you see the younger staff in the office jumping straight into it and doing their own little, Google through all your help tools and things like that and figuring things out themselves.